Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. I think it's almost afternoon. So how are you doing today? How's everyone? And to wake everybody up, because I've been watching the presentation since morning, and I think we need to get to the crowd a little bit more, so everybody needs to wake up, everybody needs to get involved. People are still coming inside, but I'll get started regardless. Let me ask you a question. How many people are here from retail? Raise your hands if you're here from retail. I still can't see many hands. I need to see more hands. How many people are here from retail? Right. What are the rest of you people doing here? So who's everybody else that's not retail? What are you guys doing here? Did you guys buy tickets? Check with Yusuf if these people are supposed to be here. Now I'm really, really glad you're all here. I think there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of growth in this industry, and I think retail is growing as good as your real estate development. Primarily, as Centaurus, we are also real estate developers. We're primarily real estate developers. We've been doing several real estate projects. We're now in the process of doing a 5-star hotel, which inshallah, by the grace of God, will be open by next year. We're also working on a housing society, which is about 5,000 villas, and that'll also be launched within the next few months. And that's a little bit different from Centaurus, because Centaurus has been very high and very expensive. The housing society will be catered more towards the middle income and slightly upper. And the reason I'm mentioning this is I've seen the difference. I've seen the difference in retail, and I've seen how well it's growing, how well it's doing, and there's unbelievable potential. And I'm sure that's why most of you are here. Most of you are interested to find out what's happening in retail, what the new innovations are, and what is the future of this industry. So I'll start off with our topic. I think it's very important to talk about the customer experience, which is something which has been neglected for a while. You know, the previous speakers, such as Tony, spoke about it. That it's not just about the brand, it's not just about what you're selling, it's about the experience that you're able to give to the audience, and it's one of the fundamental things that people miss out on. You know, when you go abroad, if you go to any shopping mall abroad, and you see the difference, they look at the lighting, the decor, the fragrance. So these are the small aspects. So we'll get there. The first thing which I really liked about this saying was, we see our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better. This is something we truly believe in. I mean, the mall experience is like coming to a party. And it really is. It's everything under one roof. People come, they dance, they enjoy. We have activations. We have places where people can go in and enjoy themselves in terms of leisure centers. And there's a small presentation that we've made for you people to see what a customer experience should be designed around, how a customer experience should be. This is our customer experience at the Centaurus Mall. So please have a look. So this is the Centaurus experience. So what do you all think? Tell me about the experience. Did you see the smiles on those customers' faces? Did you see those kids that were happy, that were enjoying themselves? This is about engaging people. This is about letting consumers come into the mall. We can draw the traffic for you. Malls can draw the traffic. Now let me tell you something interesting. When we design these events, when we plan these events, we didn't force these events on the tenants. We never have. Till now, mashallah, we've completed 4 years of operation this year. So in February, we're now 4 years old. As a mall, we're 4 years old now. So I think that's a great achievement for us, and we're very proud of it. Now, when we do these events and when we plan these events, normally you could do it in collaboration with the tenants and tell them that there's a certain fee that you need to pay for this because we're doing this for you. We have done this for the tenants. We have done this for the customers, but we've not charged them anything. We've never thrown ourselves at them and said, you know what, this has to be done. You need to be able to contribute to this. But that wasn't the logic behind this. The logic was that we're a mall, we're a benchmark. We're setting a benchmark in this area, at least in Punjab. I mean, we started off as pioneers in this area, like Dolmen did in Karachi. And we wanted to make sure that it's not about the financials. It's never about the financials. It's a lot more than that. And to engage the customers, we were willing to do that. The concerts that we do concerts regularly. I mean, every few months we do a concert. If there's an anniversary, we do it. If there's a New Year celebration. That one from Ima Beg was a New Year's with that bike event on New Year's as well. And we do it to get the footfall into the mall, the genuine footfall, the customers. We don't really want speculators. We do not charge the spectators. We do not charge the people coming into the mall. The activations that we're doing, the activations are not being done just with the tenants in the mall. We're allowing other companies to promote themselves. Netflix, PTCL, Interwood, the company that you saw in there. We're working with Q Mobile. They're not our tenants, but it's not about that. A customer, when he comes to the mall, he doesn't want to see the same things. He wants to see something different. So it's again about engaging the customer. It's about doing something new, something innovative. And that's a reason for customers coming to the mall. When they have something new there, like for example, the bike show. Bike show is something everybody loves. This year, we're planning a car show. We wanted to do something which is very different, exclusive luxury cars in the mall. That's going to draw footfall as well. Now, it's us drawing the footfall to the mall. Now we need to talk about how you as tenants or you as customers need to go into those outlets, how the tenants need to work on this to bring that footfall into the outlets. So this, with regards to the retail, how and where do you fit into the mall and the business of the mall? Not the high street business. This is a township, a community. We're not competitors, we're partners. This is very, very important. You need to understand that we're here for you. We're not here against you. Malls work together. They work collaboratively. They don't work against one another. This is a very big misconception in this industry. Your success is our success. If you don't do well, how on earth are we going to survive? How on earth is a mall going to extend, a mall going to grow, a new mall be built, if you as retailers don't grow, if we don't give you that opportunity to grow? So our focus is on you. Our themes, our activations, our promotions, our events are designed according to and around the tenants, around the customers. The staff. When we started off, in 2013, the biggest challenge for us was there was no other mall in the region, and we had to establish our own teams. And these are the teams that we came up with, mashallah. We have a huge housekeeping setup. We've got about over 100 people. In security, we've got the biggest setup in Punjab. We've got well over 300 people in terms of the outsource and in-house. And we've been approved, mashallah, by the United Nations Council, the US Embassy, the European embassies, and we've got all the foreigners coming in. So there's no issues anymore with regards to a foreign brand not being able to come to the mall, or a foreigner not being able to come to the mall because there are security issues. There are none, and we can, we vouch for that. We verified that. This is our team that was sent to Dubai. We've got team members which we select based on the department heads, and we send them to Dubai. We send them to regular visits so they can learn from the experiences of other malls, more established malls, more established industries. Retail in Dubai has grown phenomenally, and I think retail is one of the main revenue streams for Dubai, and we send them to Dubai to learn from them. This is our team. Again, this is our safety team, which was sent to Lahore Fire Brigade, because Lahore Fire Brigade is the best in Pakistan as far as what I've heard. They were sent for 2 weeks to get extensive fire training. What is this in terms of value addition to the setup? If these guys are properly trained, we obviously all have proper HVAC systems, we have firefighting systems, but the team which is not trained, that doesn't know that when a fire happens, you need to shut off the electricity first. You need to wear your proper gear, you need to be able to use the extinguisher properly, you need to be able to use a fire hose properly. The basic sense that somebody probably doesn't have is when you turn a fire hose reel on, imagine the thrust. This is value addition for the mall, because we have had incidents where there were small outbreaks of fires, and our team, mashallah, was on the spot and were able to put out these fires because they were properly trained, and we overcame those things. These are things you don't hear about, but I'm telling you this because these are the facts. This is the value addition that you can do to improve the customer experience and improve the retail experience of everyone. How we support our partners. Brand segment specific surveys. general mall surveys, annual footfall reports, mall events. Now, this is very, very critical. It's like any business that does R&D. We do the R&D for you. It's not necessary for the mall to do it. We're not asking for any fee. We're not obliged to do it, but we do it because we understand the critical importance of R&D towards growth of the mall, as well as growth of the brands. And we've done some surveys, which I'd like to share with you, and these surveys are going to be mind-opening. In terms of stats, in terms of figures, they really, really add value when you're planning your strategies, when you're developing certain things in terms of discounts, when you're developing sales strategies. These are going to help you. Now, I don't know if anyone shared their footfalls with you. Let me give you some basic footfall figures. The average footfall per day from 2000 to 2016 has been 16,000, and 14 is 18,500. 22,000, mashallah, now we're at 29,000. We've got to do this year's footfall as well. That's a lot of footfall. Now we need to find out how we can generate that footfall into buyers. How do we transfer that into real buyers? These are not usually speculators. In terms of speculators, let me give you some feedback. When we opened the metro in Islamabad, Pindi, we had a huge issue of a lot of influx of speculators. A lot of guys were coming into the mall to take selfies, to wander around, enjoy the air condition, and just maybe tease the customers. We get daily feedbacks from all of our customers. We have a suggestion box. That suggestion box comes to our vigilance team, our operations teams. They then scan those things and email to us. We as owners personally look at these suggestions and feedbacks. The feedback from the customers were, guys, please start charging tickets. Please stop and please ban these guys coming into the mall. You can't ban the customers. It's not a private enterprise. I mean, this is a public place where you want people to come and enjoy themselves. So we started using a 300 rupee ticket mechanism for people who would come into the mall, take a 300 rupee ticket, and then buy something and redeem it back. We're not getting anything out of this. Sometimes we're actually in a loss. We're losing maybe 5,000, 6,000, maybe 10,000 a day because we obviously in terms of tallying there's something going wrong. But we pay that money back. If a customer is coming to the mall, he needs to come into the mall and spend. 300 rupees is nothing. I mean, 300 rupees you can get a glass of juice. But that was the end goal. The basic purpose behind that was to listen to our customers and make sure that the tenants are getting genuine footfall, getting genuine customers. That customer is not being disturbed. And that's why we introduced the ticketing system. And it worked really well, mashallah. And this is the footfall, which has been stable over the years, despite the ticketing system. Now, the monthly footfall from 2013 to 16, the colors are going to be, the red represents 13, green represents 14, purple represents 15, and the blue represents 16. So you can see the figures, how they've grown from January, February, and mashallah, in July 16, we were at nearly 1.2 million. That's a lot. And you'll ask, how do you type 1.2 million? Well, there's a logic behind it. It was Ramadan, and also it was Eid. So it makes sense. If I'm able to share these with a tenant, imagine the benefit you guys can generate from this. We do share this, by the way. It's not like we're showing this just to you. We have shared this with our tenants. Promotional strategies, the promotions you're designing, the events you're designing, the new brand launches that you guys are designing. Let's say there's a lawn, 2014 lawn or 15 lawn or 18 launch that you're going to be designing. You'll know in terms of months, Centaurus has the footfall in those months, in those times of the year. Imagine the benefit of that. Nice. Mall surveys. So which factors attract you the most towards visiting the mall? This was done of a sample of 500 people. We couldn't get to 1,000. It was done recently. We do it every quarter. This was done in January. So we wanted to ask them in terms of brands. Is it the brands of shopping that attracts you? 24% said yes. Is it brands? 27% said it's the events. And then sales and discounts, 40%. So yeah, sales and discounts make a big difference. And I'll show you what kind of a difference sales and discount makes. This is important. And obviously special food deals, yeah, it helps, but if you're gonna sell the pizza for, I don't know, 100 rupees less, it's not really a thing. I'll eat it anyway, right? So, are you satisfied with the customer services being offered at the mall? Well, 75% said yes, mashallah. And I'm not making this up, this is a fact. If you go as a customer today and ask other customers, other tenants, are you satisfied? I'm pretty sure, I'm confident. I've got some of my family members, my retail family members sitting here. I'm sure they can vouch for that they are pretty satisfied. Which outlet do you visit the most in the Centaurus Mall? I'm not being biased. Again, I did not make this up. Now, people prefer Fun City. They prefer the food court. And then we've got some other guys like Khadi, which people love. They've always loved Khadi. We've got Outfitters, which is doing really well. We've got Al Fatah, which is a Lahore favorite. And obviously, people love it in Islamabad as well. And this is why we need to bring some other brands into the industry, like Hyperstar. And the favorite lawn brands. Now, we haven't obviously mentioned all of them. This is just a specific survey. So we've obviously got people that love Verda, people love Khadi, people love Sana Safinas. Sana Safinas has always been loved. I mean, God, they've got beautiful suits. And Capri is doing really well. Now, this is what it transfers to. When we tell you that during this month there's going to be a good amount of footfall, and you do a sale discount, look at that footfall. Look at that footfall at the counters. That's hundreds and thousands of people. Now, how do we manage that? If you're going to do this in collaboration with us, we can manage it for you. Next slide. When we have that many people standing and we don't know about it, that's like an Apple launch. If an Apple store launches a phone or an iPad or a tablet, that's the kind of queues you get over there. We had these queues on Black Friday. We had these queues on any lawn sale. Sapphire, when they introduce something, it's like Sapphire is like a disposable good. Everybody lines up to get Sapphire. It's like, it's a bargain. So when we have this queue, we have ladies, SOs, security officers placed there. We have guys offering drinks, refreshments over there. We have, the tapes, the tape barriers placed in places so people are organized in queues. This is the importance of customer experience. If these people were called here uninvitedly, or people we didn't know about it as mall management, how on earth would we be able to deal with such a crowd? So it's all about communication. It's all about working together on a common platform, and it's all about the customer experience. If you do the sale, and the customers come there and they start fighting over it, mashallah, we've never had a fight at the Centaurus Mall. I've seen some videos on WhatsApp, some serious videos of some hair pulling and some, I don't know, bashing and pushing around and shoulder shoving. But alhamdulillah, we've not had that at the Centaurus Mall yet. I can't promise about the future. We want to try and manage that. Next. Create better customer experiences. How do retailers get customers to get off their smartphones into a physical brick and mortar store? I was just talking to Asad about that. The brick and mortar stores are failing, but in Pakistan, they're just getting started. Give customers a memorable experience that resonates with them on a deep emotional level each time that they enter the store. A customer comes in, you want to be greeted. This is what happens in the world. You want to be greeted with a nice smile. You say, good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Kadi. Welcome to Debenhams. Welcome to XYZ. They want to be greeted. They want to be looked after. They want to be pampered. It's something they won't forget. The one-to-one connectivity, usually I've seen that good stores don't change their staff very often. The staff is normally kept there. And that's important. I mean, if I have a branch manager, if I have some really good sales staff, I would want to keep the sales staff there. You know, I know guys who have direct WhatsApp access to some of the sales guys, so every time there's a particular launch of a product, they text those customers and say, well, you'll get normal text anyway. But they send private messages to those customers, sir, the stocks come in, can you come and have a look? Because they want those customers to get the product, they're regular customers. This is the kind of connectivity that a customer wants. It's like going to a bank and having a relationship officer. You want to have a relationship officer because a relationship officer looks after you. Tell me this. How disappointing is it that you go to a bank and you find out that your relationship officer has left, and now you have to deal with a new guy from start? It's extremely disappointing. It's extremely painful. So I love the fact that some of the good brands are retaining their staff, retaining their good, loyal senior personnel, or even their strong sales guys in those regions. Don't get rid of them. Don't shuffle them around. It ruins the customer experience. The experience audit. 4-step audit to see your store's experience as customers see it. Conduct a retail top-top. Watch your customers. Go beyond transaction, and what stories are you telling? Recently, we opened up Gloria Jeans in Centaurus, and Gloria Jean was opened by a new franchisee, but this guy had a different way of working, and I like him. I like him for his style. One day, I think about a month into operations, he went to the store wearing the staff uniform. And I'm a very regular at my own mall. I mean, I go there frequently, at lunch, dinner, afternoons, casual walks, and it's really important. I mean, you can see what's going on. It's not that when they see me, they're like, oh, he's coming, let's get on our toes right now. They see you and they're like, yeah, the boss is here, he's watching us, that's fine. There's been plenty of incidents where I've seen something on the floor, I won't be like, oi, come here. I'll pick it up and I'll throw it, and I expect them to feel that, I expect them to see that. You lead by leadership, you lead by example. You know, staff training and HR is very fundamental. It's one thing that's overlooked in Pakistan quite a bit. It's something I missed mentioning earlier, that the way we look after our staff is the way we look after our family. At our anniversary, the 4th anniversary this year, I told my staff, and I'm telling this to all the retailers out there as well, these guys are like diamonds in the rough. They can only shine after being carved into shape. If you look after them, if you train them, if you give them the exposure that they need, trust me, they can do wonders for you. And they have done wonders for us, and I'm proud of saying it. I've got some of my wonderful team members here who've been with me from the beginning. They've seen how we've grown, how we've groomed our staff, and this makes a hell of a difference. So that individual from Gloria, now he was standing there wearing the staff uniform, serving his customers, and he's the owner of Gloria. And I'm like, Mr. Khalid, what's going on? Are you short on staff? He's like, no, I'm trying to get the customer feedback. I want to see how my staff operates. They know I'm here, but I want to see how the customers are feeling about my outlet. I want to see if my food is up to the par. They've got 100 customers in there. My staff can't keep up with 100 guys. I want to see if they can. I want to see how they're performing. Under pressure, I want to see the customer's feedback, and he's doing this regularly. That's what an audit is about. Now, most brands here are like 75 outlets. I don't expect the owners to go and audit every single outlet, but I do expect them to send responsible people, and within what, a month, 2 months, 3 months, it is doable. But if you don't do an audit, if you don't find out what's happening, we're doing audits in our mall. I can't go into other malls and audit other people, but the audits that I'm doing in my mall, I'm telling you there are problems. I have found issues in malls. We then pass that on to the tenants, to the principals, but we expect results. We expect them to perform better in return. Reinventing physical spaces. This is something which is finally caught up. And we suffered tremendously at the beginning. We started with terrible outlet standards. Varda is a great brand, but I'm telling you, the outlet standard was terrible. This is one of them. There's plenty more. You look at the Varda in the past, you look at the Varda now, there's a big difference. You look at the Limelight in the past, you look at the Limelight now, it's a big difference. This is improvement, and this is common sense. When I talked about things that I didn't like, that's a wall-mounted fan in a mall. Where on earth do you see a wall-mounted fan in a mall? Why should you have a wall-mounted fan when we've spent millions of dollars on chillers, on gensets, and we've got backup powers? Why would somebody do that? They want to do it because obviously they don't want to turn their electricity on, their chillers on, and they want to save costs. We've shut these people down. We don't want to, we shouldn't have to, but a customer experience revolves around this. A customer doesn't want to walk into a mall and feel a fan coming on. I mean, this is terrible. Who does that in today's day and age? So this is things we've gone through. This is stuff we've lived through, and alhamdulillah, we've overcome it now. Again, I was talking about Gloria, Junaid Jamshed, Satrangi, Sana Savinas. These stores have all been upgraded. J-Dot is obviously a kiosk, but we've got the outlet as well. But these stores, today's date, are up to today's mark. I can compare these outlets to worldwide outlets and say, yeah, these are as good as outlets in the UK, or as good as outlets in the UAE. And this is what I expect. This is about the customer experience. A customer doesn't want to come into the outlet and have a look at an outlet which looks like Jinnah Super, or looks like Defense, or somewhere in Lahore. I mean, you don't want that. You want to come into a mall and you want to see the best elevation, the best design, the best lighting, the best elevation, the best decor, the best screens. This is what the mall experience is about. This is what the retail experience is about, something which is being neglected. What stories are you telling? Look at the story you tell. Is this the story that your brand is actually representing? We're talking about a lot of good brands here, a lot of big names. And when you look at that brand, I mean, for example, last year, we had Mr. Mia Manshah here. Wonderful gentleman, wonderful speech, and then at the end of it, somebody asked him, what is Nishat doing to improve the customer experience? Now, that was a random question because he doesn't obviously operate Nishat, but it was a good question, it was a valid question. And he was very polite. He said, well, it's not something I'm looking after, but I'll look into it and get back to you. Since then, most of the Nishat stores have been upgraded, and they've been upgraded tremendously. I mean, they've got Swarovski in there, their fit-outs are amazing, their lighting, the decor, everything is fantastic, and that's what I expect from people. That's what I expect in terms of the story. Nishat is a fantastic brand, one of the oldest brands, but if you don't upgrade, if you don't evolve, and there's other brands as well, which I don't want to mention, which are not doing it. They're equal competitors as Nishat, and they're leaving their stores alone. And I think it's one of the worst things to do, to leave your stores the way they are and not move in tandem with the world, not move in tandem with the culture. I mean, the other brands right now, if you look at the interiors, look at the fit outs, you look at the standards, all about the standards, guys. It's all about the quality. And then marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories that you tell. I keep repeating this. An example is, you're looking at those embroidery and tailoring on one corner of one of the stores. It's a lovely concept. I mean, this is to show that these guys are doing some of the best embroidery, and it talks about culture. And they can also do alteration on the spot. So this is functional as well. So there's functionality and there's something there. A new outlet, a new concept which has opened up with the last 1 year is called Mastana. Mastana is just made up. But the concept is, it's a guy who comes from a village, and you look at the outlets, you look at the benches, you look at the stools, and it's a villager selling parathas, nihari, rabri. He's selling lassi, he's selling all sorts of traditional things. And that's a new concept. And this is a concept which is in the food court. It's not something you'd find on the high street. This is innovation. This is about telling a story. He's telling a story. He's made up his own theme. And you don't need foreign consultants for this. You don't need to go abroad for this. This is stuff which can be done in-house. People have a taste of this. And Tony was right. It's not just about bringing in the international brands. You don't have to bring in the international names to make sure your product sells. This is selling. This is always full. And it's a local brand. And something we're proud of as well. Thanks. Create more reasons to visit more often. Give people more reasons to visit more often. What if every store visit was an opportunity for customers to learn something new? Apple creates an immersive brand experience by focusing on discovery of product information. IKEA is all about inspiration and fresh ideas. And Disney is all about reinventing stores and doing something new. If you go into an Apple store, you can play with their products all day long. Samsung store, you can play with their products all day long. BlackBerry, Microsoft. I mean, why are they making experience stores? They're actually called, these stores are now called experience stores. Why are they called experience stores? So you can go and experience products. That's the same thing that we can do in retail. I can even tell you ideas, maybe Service can even consider this. Imagine Service and Bata getting into customized shoes. I was once in Dubai Mall, I was walking by, and Dubai Mall had a kiosk. And they were doing customized shoe stitching on the spot. I mean, I could probably engrave my name. I mean, imagine how unique that is to be able to stand there. Or imagine going into Khadi and imagine Khadi guy embroidering, stitching, your initials onto your dress. I mean, this is unique. This is all about the experience. This is about something doing innovative. Imagine going into a store and smelling a certain sense of fragrance. Imagine, giving that unique feeling to them. The customer comes in and he smells something very, very different to the mall or to the other outlets. Imagine the freshness in the flowers, for example, putting out orchids. And this is small things. Staff uniform, is one of the basic things which is still being missed. You don't have staff wearing the right uniform, and every time we've got to go penalize people. It's one of the basic things which is being overlooked. There's one more thing which I want to mention. In terms of our staff, in terms of our tenants, there's one thing that we teach them. This is our philosophy. We tell them that our employees, our family, have 3 bosses. The first being the customers. The customers are the first boss. The second bosses that they have are the tenants. So you're their second boss. The third boss is us, the landlord. They're accountable to the customers, then they're accountable to the tenants, and third, they're going to be accountable to us. And this is very, very important. This is fundamental, and this is something everybody's overlooking. It's all about the customer. Why do they say the customer is always right? Despite the circumstances. There's a logic behind it. That customer has to be a returning customer. That customer is the guy who's going to give you the next customer. I can tell you that this outlet is a great outlet. You'll go into that outlet because you'll trust me. If I had a terrible experience, and if I told somebody I had a terrible experience, do you think the other person is going to go into that outlet to trust me? This is the difference, and this is a make it or break it situation, guys. So take retail seriously, and we're a family. We're not competitors. We never will be. Thank you. So, any questions? I'm well within the time, guys. I'm well within the time. So, any questions, I'm happy to answer. Please go ahead. I would love to come to Lahore, but the one thing I've seen with our businesses, because we're so focused on micromanaging in a way, I mean, we're very hands-on. Our approach is very hands-on, and I'm sure plenty of other operators will concur on this. You can't build phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 and expect to manage it all by yourself. We are in a position to be able to manage other properties. Now, mashallah, our staff is so well trained, our management is so well trained that we can offer expertise to other people. I'm not talking about financials here. I can even offer my technical services free of charge. I can tell you how to operate your chillers, how to do your 2 shifts as opposed to 5 shifts. I can tell you the basics. This is a mutually beneficial thing. I think everybody can benefit from this thing. I mean, if I can tell you something good, you'll grow. I'll get swab from it for all I know. That's all I looking forward to, and that's all I need. So I think over the next few years we may grow elsewhere, but at the moment we're pretty focused in Islamabad. We're doing a 5-star hotel. We're doing the housing society. Who knows? We may be building another mall. You never know. So there's a lot in the pipeline. That's it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yasir.